The Patriots made two surprising roster moves. I want to break them down here for you guys on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot. Number one, they cut a surprising wide receiver. We'll break that down in the first half of the show. They also elevated a guy from the IR. I think you know who it is, but wait and find out. In the back half of the show, Joey Slye and Chad Ryland had a competition in the offseason, but now it looks like Slye may have another player he has to compete with for his starting job. Before we jump into those two topics today, thank you guys so much for tuning in every single day to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We have made a ton of new friends over the 4 months that we've played NFL so far this season. But let's kick off December and end December on a high note. If you guys want to go on ahead and hit that sub button for me, I promise you will not regret it. New England cut a receiver. It was honestly a little bit overdue. I thought this was going to be a move the Patriots made a few weeks ago, but now heading into Week 15, it looks like New England wanted to make some room for a new player to come back on this roster, which means somebody has to leave the 53-man, and that player is going to be Mr. KJ Osborn, the veteran receiver, phenomenal receiver. He really is. I just don't think he was the right fit for the Patriots offense. I think they're struggling right now. I think they're trying to figure out where the young guys go, where the veterans go, who's going to be Drake May's top target for at least one game. And I just don't think KJ Osborn fit that mold. That has nothing to do with Osborn. It's just not the right fit for this team. And thankfully, the way that he did go out, it is actually a good decision by both Osborn and New England's front office. The Patriots are waiving wide receiver KJ Osborn per source. It was a mutual decision, and he will now have a chance to catch on to a team where he will be able to play more. This is why I actually really like this move, is because we're getting into the postseason play. The Patriots will not be in the postseason, but there are teams out there that could use some wide receiver depth. The number one team that comes to my mind is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost Chris Godwin. They want to go out and make a splash in the postseason. Go on ahead, add some extra depth, and add a veteran, a 27-year-old KJ Osborn. Because in New England, his talents were being wasted. And once again, this has nothing to do with Osborn. This has no disrespect to any of the other receivers on this team, but he just is the last guy that Drake May goes to in Alex Van Pelt's scheme. DeMario Douglas, 508 snaps. Kayshon Boutte, 565 snaps. Goes all the way down to Jalen Polk, who honestly is in fourth place right now with wide receiver snap counts, as KJ Osborn has only played 7 games this season, as he's been a healthy scratch in most of them. Just because we had 7 receivers on our roster for the longest time, they never found out a way to get Osborn involved. The only thing that I don't like about this move is that this does not look good on the front office. It doesn't. Because this just means another swing and a miss that you had in the offseason. KJ Osborn was probably a third option for Minnesota behind Justin Jefferson, and you had Jordan Addison. So then when you have a guy like KJ Osborn, who had over 500 receiving yards last year and was definitely proven to be a good wide receiver 2, 3 on a team, and you bring him in and you don't even utilize him, I mean, just add it to the list of things that Elliott Wolf is trying to do for New England, but it's just not the right move. They cut KJ Osborn. Now they cut Juju Smith-Schuster, who is playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Same thing with Tyquan Thornton. He's playing for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. You traded Matthew Judon, arguably your best player on defense, and then you traded Josh Uche to the Chiefs in the middle of the season. So 3 out of these 5 players right now are playing in Kansas City. And if Andy Reid and the head coaching staff of the front office in Kansas City seems that they can find a fit on their Super Bowl team for those 3 players, does that mean the Patriots had Super Bowl-worthy players and just didn't know what to do with them? Because it looks bad on New England if we keep flushing these players out. And I talked to Vikings host by Chat Sports, Patrick Seatman. He's a huge fan of KJ Osborn. And he's saying, you guys cut him? Almost as if New England swung and missed on an Osborn and didn't know what to do with him in their offense. And believe me, we have a bottom-of-the-barrel offense right now in terms of statistics, so I find it hard to believe that KJ couldn't have found some way to thrive in this offense. He went from a top target for Drake May and Jacoby Brissett in the first 5 weeks, and then his activity kind of fell off there with New England and Drake May. But my overall take here is that I actually do like this move. I think it gives KJ another opportunity to go out, get some playing time while he's 27, see what he can do for a contending team. but it clearly looks like New England is moving in a younger direction. They want to give Drake May younger targets to possibly work with other than a player like KJ Osborn. But if the front office and Elliott Wolf do not use this opportunity to clear out your wide receiver room, which you now have 5 receivers. You started the season with 7. You cut Thornton. You cut Osborn. Now you have 5 on the active roster. If you don't go out and get a top wide receiver this offseason, it's going to be bad news bears for the Patriots. But it does look like Cole Strange will fill that spot that Osborn was released from. The Patriots are activating guard Cole Strange from reserve/pup per sources. That means he's now going to be back in shells. He will now be eligible to play in football games as his 21-day window is now over. This is great news for Cole Strange, a former first-round pick for New England. We're going to have to wait and see what they utilize him for, where they're going to put him, and when he's going to come back. But they already filled that position pretty quickly. So let me go ahead and ask you guys this. One-word reaction to cutting KJ Osborn. Mine's just going to be fair. I think it's fair for both sides. You get to elevate Cole Strange back, and you also get to give KJ Osborn the opportunity to play football somewhere else. All right, let me tell you guys real quick about our sponsor here on Patriots Today. That is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. If you guys aren't playing Prize Picks, honestly, what are you doing? I play this every single game day, and you guys should too, because it's super easy. All you have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 200 times your cash while running your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can make your holidays bigger and brighter. The best place to get real money action while winning your favorite sports and watching your favorite teams. And because you can now win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks, it's the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including Cali, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. And it's crossover season as well. Basketball, football, hockey, maybe even a little Call of Duty in there. And today is Tuesday, which means it's Taco Tuesday. They're going to give you 25% off a player's projected stats. So, of course, I'm going to take Giannis Antetokounmpo to have more on his discounted points. And I'll have Luka Doncic to have more on his points as well. If you guys want to go on ahead and make your picks, all you have to do is download the Prize Picks app. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll get you $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. A new kicker competition. It's getting spicy heading into Week 15. And this honestly did come as a surprise to me. A little bit more than the KJ Osborn cut. But Joey Slye is a good kicker. I mean, he's fairly an average kicker, maybe even a little bit above average. So why bring in somebody else to the practice squad to kind of start to poke at him, saying, hey, man, make your kicks or you're riding the bench? This latest report coming in from Mike Garofalo, the Patriots are expected to sign kicker John Parker Romo to the practice squad 1 day after he cleared waivers from the Vikings, sources say. Romo went 11 for 12 on field goal attempts for Minnesota, while Will Reichard was injured. He latches on quickly in New England. There are several positions I probably would have upgraded before I upgraded the kicker, but he is right. John Parker Romo, as Patrick Seaman would say, saved our season, quote unquote. 11 for 12 field goals, 7 for 8 extra point made. His longest was 55, which we know Joey Slye is not foreign to kicking over 50-plus yard field goals either. And he's kicking at about a 91.7% for Minnesota in those 4 games played. So when I look at Joey Slye, who obviously has a ton of experience compared to John Parker Romo, at least just this season, is that they both, 3 for 3 from that 20 to 40 range, which is pretty typical for an NFL kicker. And then Joey Slye, yes, he has started to kind of miss a little bit there when it get longer. 4 for 6, which I don't even count one of those because that was just because Sherrod Mayo decided to move this from a Hail Mary to a potentially game-winning kick, and that thing was like 62 yards. So I'm not really worried about that either. But like I said, 78.6%, it's not the greatest kicking field goal percentage I have seen, but it's not terrible either. I think Joey Slye comes in clutch when Drake May can't seem to convert in the red zone. But this is why I think it's an interesting move. Because you obviously pick Joey Slye over Chad Ryland, and this could be a little tactic. He's only on the practice squad right now, so Joey Slye is still the starting kicker for New England. But if you chose Joey Slye over Chad, it kind of goes back to the front office again. You made that decision. Now, 3-4 weeks left in the NFL regular season, you're going to go bring in another kicker in the practice squad? Does that mean you do not approve of what Joey Slye has done because you chose Joey Slye over Ryland? And now you might be looking back on it saying, is Joey Slye not the guy? Should we bring in John Parker Romo? It's just not looking great for New England's front office with the teetering back and forth on front office decisions that can help the Patriots win ball games. But there is an expectation now for John Parker Romo that he can be elevated as soon as this week to the 53-man roster. And let me tell you, they do not have two kickers on the 53-man roster. So if they bring in John Parker Romo and it gets a little chippy at practice in the next couple of days before they take on the Cardinals, well, we'll have to wait and see if they're going to run with Parker Romo this weekend against Arizona or if they're going to stick with Joey Slye. So I have a question for you. Am I just completely delusional right now? Do you like Joey Slye as a Patriots kicker? Because I do. I'm going to type Y for yes. If you guys don't, type N for no. As always, help us reach 19,000 subscribers here on this channel. All you guys have to do to help us get there and help our December number go up is hit that sub button for me.